Alrighty, welcome to Romera Records virtual cast. Today we have on the John Hill. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. We haven't really talked like full conversation in a
A
minute.
while,
Yeah,
long time, dude.
you've been
Yeah,
locked down.
yeah. I've been super busy. Kind of just like what we were talking about the other day. We were setting this up. I hadn't talked to Jesse or any of them. They're like, I was like, yeah, sorry, I've been busy with the baby. He's like, whoa, you got a baby now? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
things have changed. Yeah, I've been pretty busy.
yeah. So for everybody who doesn't know John, me and him have a pretty wild introductory to each other. So
It's pretty
we
wild.
met at Boy State, and we'll talk about that as well. But we met there. It's Boy State is basically a like a shindig that lasted a week.
Yeah, yeah. It was like I had no knowledge of what this was. All I knew was my mom's a teacher, and she's like, "Hey, this would be great for college applications. You can go on your resume and all this." And I still like the day before, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm going to the University of Alabama and hanging out in the dorm for 5 days. It
That's
sounds
all
pretty
that matters.
sick. And then I get there and I know nothing about government or anything, how it works at that time. And it's like mock government for teenagers. And I was like, yo, not pleased. But we had a pretty solid room. Me, you, Hayden Hip, Mark, I forget his last name, Herbstein.
Whatever it
But
was, he was a cool dude though.
yeah, it was a good time though. I recommend it just for the memories. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, so basically, we were all supposed to run for some political um, election. Like you just basically, you literally had to get elected by your city. Every group was called a city. We were Harper, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
We were. Dude,
And
I'm
then
surprised you remember that, dude.
I
I hadn't
don't
thought about
remember.
that in a while.
I don't remember any other city, honestly. I
Oh,
just
our
remember our
shirts were
city.
purple.
Yep.
That was it.
And so we're at the University of Alabama. We're staying in these like a suite. So there's four rooms inside a big room, and then we basically met there when like on moving day, and then we ended up just being cool with everybody in our room. But me and John, really just clicked and been friends ever since. Um, so after Boy State, we go back to our separate schools, and I tell everybody this story. So I never had like a real like guy best friend. Like when I was in high school, like I was always trying to talk to girls, so that was all I ever talked to. And I never just had like a dude best friend. Like I did maybe in like 10th grade, me and Trevor Sanders hung out like all the time. And like me and Jesse would hang out, but like it wasn't, my whole life. It was just like short periods of time, like one grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So John is like texting me all the time, like after this. And I was like, yo, is this dude gay? Like, I gotta tell him I'm not gay. I was like, I don't know.
From a
And
small
then,
town, dude. I'm bored.
and then he just keeps talking to me. And then we just like talk about stuff, like just talking about life. And I was like, oh, oh, okay. I get this. We can talk
Oh,
about whatever.
having friends is cool, dude.
It sounds like such a crazy thing to say, but it was for real. Like I never just texted my friends like all the time. It was like, yo, you want to hang out? Yeah, so we just go hang out. But like,
Yeah.
I couldn't just hang out with you. You live so far away, so it was definitely different. But so yeah, then let's see. We didn't really talk much after we both graduated because that's when I
Yeah.
found out you were at the JSU party.
Yeah. So my buddy Jake was at JSU and I was looking for schools at the time. And I was like, Jacksonville, I knew my friend Jake and Tori Lipsy. They were over there. I was like, all right, I know a couple people in my friends groups. That's perfect. I don't know a lot of people. It's not gonna be a small town thing. It's a bigger environment. a little bit more distance away from family, but I can still like go home and family can come see me and stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know about Jacksonville State. Let me check this out. And so I hit up Jake. He said there was a party. I was going, and then I think you messaged me on Facebook and was like, dude, are you in Jacksonville? I was like, I am, dude. He's like, tell me where. I go here. Like, let's meet up. I was like, oh, dude, like, I'm sold. I'm going here.
Because you had Jake, you had Les, Tori, me.
Yeah, Les came in the year after I came. Um, that was it from my hometown over there for a while. And they filtered out, and we were roommates all the way through your graduation, and then we got Bray in. He stayed with us, and then I moved in with him my last year. We had a solid little crew.
Absolutely. Like college was just unstoppable. Like that was so fun.
Dude, it was for it to be a small town that's like only 3 bars, which it was a great time. It
Yeah.
was it was awesome. I couldn't even imagine going anywhere else. It was like just quaint little mountain village style place with some good dudes.
Yeah. And the thing I liked about it is I wish I went to a high school that was like JSU. Like it was big enough to where you didn't know everybody, but you still knew like a ton of people though.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know anything about that. My like I would tell people like 5 years um ahead of me and 5 years behind me, I will know almost everybody who went to my high school.
Dang.
So now like it's kind of filtered out. I was like, oh, I don't know who that person is. Cool. I'm now old, but I'm also like, away from the small town
Is
vibe of it.
it was Lawrence County is the school you went to, right?
Yeah.
Are they still a school? Like, did they join with anybody or anything?
No, no. Speak High School joined with them. And Lawrence County's just been kind of growing as a school. I think that we they got a new gym and like big fancy gymnasium. But I think they're still 5A. I don't know. I think so. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen much of outside of that many changes.
Yeah, I think what's going to start happening is just like America as a society, as people start moving into like the bigger cities, the bigger cities start like spreading out and getting bigger and
Yeah.
swallowing the small cities. I think what's going to happen is the same thing that, what happened with Speak. Like the small got swallowed by the bigger, and then everything just starts, pushing outward. And so that, I mean, that happened in where was the Gadsden area.
Yeah.
There's a school called what was it called? Litchfield.
Uh, okay.
There was a school called Litchfield, Emma Sampson, and then I think Gadsden was the other one, and they all joined into one school. It was awful because, like, I mean, they were all athletes like crazy, so they had good, athletics, but it was a bunch of gangs, and they now they were all seeing each other every day, so it was like, bad.
Yeah. Speak when they came, they got second place in the state tournament. So they had obviously a good amount of athletes, and like when they came together, we were all excited. It was like, oh, dude, we're gonna be because we just came off a 0-10 season. So um, actually, we were 1-9 because Central High School played somebody who was over 19. So I remember our coach was like, "Hey, I don't want everybody to get so down on themselves. We're not going 0 for this year. We just want a game off of technicality, okay? So there's something to put in the box." I was like, that makes me feel not any better. And this is like during a game, like we're at halftime or right before the game or something, not even after the game. But yeah, like moving into another school, like especially the seniors, like I've definitely felt what they were coming from. Like, dude, I don't want to do this. I want to play football for my high school, where my dad played. So we had guys that just didn't want to play, and there's so much animosity. We never like ran together as a team. Um, so, but yeah, I don't. There's a it's a tough integration. Like, I don't know if there's a good way to do it or not, but yeah. Also, the counties are so spread out. Like, every school's a rival. So everybody in our county was like, yeah, we play them every year in baseball. We play them every year in football. Um, and the goal is to just like beat your county counterpart. And then you bring those guys with you. You're like, now I got to play with these dudes.
I mean,
But
that's the whole, concept of integration. Like you think about that
yeah,
with think about back in the like 50s and 60s or whatever with like blacks and whites. Like talk about integration right
yeah,
there. That was the ultimate form of hate.
yeah,
And then it
yeah,
was like, oh, now I've got to work with them. Like I used to just boss them around and do what they wanted to. Now they're my cohort. So that's I think America as a society we've done well. Like, I always tell people, think about how young America is compared to like Greece.
yeah, yeah. We're still pretty young in the time frame. I don't know how it's gonna expand, but they just better be careful with it.
Yeah, yeah. And like we're we accelerate so quickly. Like
Yeah,
from where we've been to where we are. Like we started from scratch. Like America started from scratch and had to catch up to where everybody else was within, almost 300 years. So it's it's been, I guess, efficient, but it's been a wild ride.
yeah, that for sure it has, man. Still a wild ride.
Absolutely. And even
Uh,
with like, I guess just the way, elections have been, like we keep going back and forth between Democratic and Republican, and that's cool and all, but I definitely wish we would switch it up and start doing like no parties and stuff like that, like wild card. we need a Charlie Day up in here. We need a wild card like The Rock or something as president.
well, it's like, what is it saying? Like, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. So
Yeah,
like, you pretty much know what you're getting with a Republican or a Democrat independent. I don't know.
yeah,
So, but it is a shame, um, that it is like that. I know me and you talked about that in college. Like, this is dumb.
yeah. Like we didn't know anything about politics, and we still thought it
Yeah,
was dumb.
yeah. You go through like 4 years of, oh god, man, I'm tired of this dude saying the same old stuff and doing different stuff. The next guy comes in. All right, yeah, this is gonna be our guy. He's saying different things. Okay, he's saying the same old stuff. This guy's saying different things. Same cycle, different opposite end. And it's like, all right, yeah, well, I'm moving my vote from this side to this side. Let's see what this guy says. This is new for me now. Um, it's a vicious cycle. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, and also I think it's how things just play out over time. I think it's just a generational type thing. Like I don't think our generation cares as much about the politics as much as like our parents do and our grandparents. Like they love
Um,
they love that.
I don't know. I don't think they understand the politics, but they definitely get into it more. I still don't pay attention to politics that much because I'm just like, what can I do other than vote and then like listen to what they have to say, but which might be the wrong way to go about it. But people get really deep into like what people are saying. What a big thing is like now, all these riots are happening. Like everybody's looking out for the fellow man, and that's obviously what it's got to come to. Stop the playing for the big guy, start looking at the little guy. But that's I think our generation's more towards the little guy, and then the generations below us are also like, hey, what about us down here? So I think as time goes on, it's gonna push more that way for a long time, and then it's I'm not trying to get my foot in my mouth or anything over here political. I don't want to be political or anything, but yeah, it's going to be a hard pull one way or the other. So
Yeah, and you know, I think that as we get older, we just our interests get drawn in so many different places because the world is getting crazy. Like there's just so much. People are constantly building and innovating, and there's just so much like just stuff out there. Like even like when we were growing up, we had like what 3 video games that we want to play. Well, which right now I've got about I've got about 2 or 3 that I play all
that's
the time.
no, that's completely wrong. For example, I've got them right here, dude. PlayStation. This is a message to you. This is the Nintendo 64 games I had. I
Did
had
you
to
have those
delete
ready just for this podcast?
No, I got my N64 right here. I've just got them packaged up right here from the move. But I had to delete everything off my PS4 just to like hope I can play Call of Duty one day. Like I was like, oh my god, if I wanted to play a game, I would have to think about it days ahead because like, I kind of want to play Red Dead Redemption today or Grand Theft Auto. So I have to go in and delete one game and install another. I'd be like, I hope I get to play it tomorrow. That'd be great. So, and I just
Did you never buy a hard drive?
never bought a hard drive,
Oh
dude.
my god.
At this point, I refuse.
Oh my
I'll just get a PS5 down the road. I don't play. I deleted everything. I played MLB The Show 2016 for like 2 weeks. So I had nothing else. I had nothing else going on.
Oh my goodness. Dude,
Yeah, I'm stubborn.
Rachel has Xbox. Well, I get to play it too every once
Yeah.
in a while.
If you ask.
Yeah. But she wanted to get that gold, that ultimate pass or whatever it's called. And,
Yeah.
it comes with like the newest freaking games. Like it's got like all the NBA 2Ks on there. It's got all the MLB the shows. So I'm just playing like MLB 21 for free because it comes with it. So Xboxes, they're pretty spot on with some games.
Yeah, I remember we had the gold subscription. I think it was like you could download those games for free. Those were the funnest games. We played like Sleeping Dogs and
Yeah.
Spartacus and stuff all the time. Those were at our house for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then NCAA, which is like RIP.
But it's
We'll
coming
see you
back.
soon. We'll see you soon. We'll see
Yeah.
you soon.
Yeah. And that's something that like so when people talk about like I guess just like companies just like taking over and like being a monopoly and whatnot, it's like I say I don't really have a problem with that as long as their prices don't get ridiculous, but competition is what drives innovation. And EA Sports with Madden shows proof of that because nobody's competing with them. Nobody's competing against Madden, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And but like NCAA, we loved NCAA no matter what. Like
Yeah.
it was NCAA, but I really hope that they don't screw up NCAA like they did with Madden.
I
When they
think I think they better put a beta out
yeah.
because the gap in time that they've had, they're gonna be like, let's put this in, let's put this in, let's put this in, take that out, we don't need that anymore. It's like, it's either going to be a really good game or a really, really mediocre game that took, what was it? I feel like at this point, 8 years in
Yeah,
the making.
2014 was the last one, I think. I think it had RG3 on the cover. Yeah,
Yep.
I think that was the last one. And dude, like, so much has changed since, just like, graphics wise, the like just the play style, the engines of the mechanics of gaming, like everything's just changed so much. And I don't know, have you played a Madden recently?
Yeah, I have.
Isn't it kind of weird? Like,
It
it
is. It
doesn't
is kind
feel
of weird. I played it on the boat. We had downtime. But I mean, we just played like exhibition games between each other. But um, the every year, I feel like the quarterback wide receiver dynamic is always, it changes just a little bit. And I think from the jump of like 20, what was it, 2012 to 2010 to 2012 or 2013 NCAA, I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like, I cannot throw to this guy.
yeah,
And it's like a whole learning curve just to throw a ball on a video game.
yeah,
So no, like, and running, like the running in 2014 was like super dynamic. Like you
yeah.
could, all the other buttons you could push to do different things. I was like, at this point, I'm just trying to keep up.
Have you got a chance to play some VR?
Yeah, on the boat we
Oh, you did?
played.
Nice.
Yeah, we played some. So when I was on the carrier, it was fine because carrier does, you don't feel the waves as much unless they're like high seas.
By the way,
But we
virtual
just,
reality for everybody who VR, yeah.
yeah. Um, but we were just on the small boy for like a couple of days doing training with the integration with the ship. And I told my buddy Brady, I was like, yo, bring your headset. Let's see if we had barely had time to play, but I was like, bring your headset. I'd love to like play that in the downtime. So he brought it, and like, you mapped out the room and all that. So we mapped out our little safe space, which was very, very small, the small boy. Um, but the seas were just like slightly, like, you could definitely feel the waves. So the room would just, I guess there's a gyroscope in there that can tell if you're like, for safety, like, oh, I'm about to fall over or fall
Mm.
into this thing. So it would just take the space that you laid out and just like go straight through your head. And it's like, we tried it for like 2 hours. So I was like, we're not playing this today. But
Um,
the VR, we played this game super hot. We were trying to play ping pong. There's something like another flying game that he had. But it was pretty cool. I got sucked into that pretty deep. Um, but nothing beats a good old NCAA.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just thinking about the future of gaming, like, it's kind of hard to think of, like, not playing with a controller. Like, that's just how you play a game. You use a controller, just like being on your phone. Like, you have an actual physical phone. You don't want to just go to, like, tell your brain to do something.
Yeah,
Just-
somebody asked me a question, and I'm like, do I sound dumb or do I Google it? You know, just to make sure, just to make sure. Like, I know the answer, but it's worth the Google. You know what I'm saying? I
and
got it.
that's what I think about, like, on Twitter, like when people ask questions, or even Facebook. Like when people ask a question, I'm just like, they didn't just Google that. Like they could have just answered their own question. But it takes away from the social aspect of it. Like you want to get people's opinion. Like think about any random question you might ask. Somebody might actually not know it, think they know it, give an answer, and be wrong. And so now they've learned too. So that kind of helps.
Or you can think of it this way: like, you got some person that you don't really think too highly of, and they give you the answer, and you're like, all right, cool. I know that's probably wrong. So I'm not gonna go with that. Or, you know, it's it's for the older generation, I think it is their equivalent of Google. It's really easy to just ask
That is true.
your friends,
That is
hey,
true.
what do y'all do for this?
Do you think it's weird? Like, so your mom uses Facebook, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Is it? Does she use it like all the time?
Um it's like we said, everybody's got their phones, so everybody, is bored browsing through Facebook.
Yeah.
So posting and stuff, anytime she gets like a picture of my daughter or gets pictures, she'll post it or post memories or something like that. She's pretty active on Facebook, but I don't think she's super super deep into it.
Yeah. And you know what's kind of weird is I don't think our parents really, or like that generation really got into MySpace. Do you?
No, dude, because we were angsty kids, and a lot of us probably didn't even tell them that MySpace was a thing.
There's that. I I mean they were pretty similar though, so I don't know what really draws that generation to Facebook. I mean, it does have a lot of good features that they would use, but I don't know what
To
they use.
back in the day, to be good at MySpace, you kind of had, or not be good at MySpace, but to like fully use MySpace, you had to kind of understand like, oh yeah, just take this code, put it in like my I format it into my page, and boom, I have a background, a layout, music, and all this other stuff. Um, if you were at the height of your MySpace age, then you had all kinds of stuff going for you.
You're a borderline
But
coder.
yeah, yeah, and it was the weirdest thing about it was like your top friends and going through high school and out, like that would change. You'd be like, oh man, like girls would be like, what did I do? What have I done to you? We've been best friends forever. What happened?
What are you talking about? You're MySpace? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so that was a weird aspect of it for sure. But yeah, I remember MySpace trying to make a comeback, and they had like Riff Raff on the ad.
What?
It was like a TV commercial on it, and it
Oh,
was like they had Riff Raff on there. I was like, probably not the best candidate for that.
Riff Raff is the best. Him and
Yeah,
Soldier.
that's true. That's true.
If they got Soldier Boy on it, yo,
Well, he was the first,
yeah.
so
What do you say? I was the only rapper on MySpace with more friends than Tom.
that was the height of the Soldier Boy era, though.
Yes,
Honestly, though.
that actually was the height of Soldier Boy era. He, I mean, a lot of people don't actually give him credit. That dude's an innovator. He is an innovator.
Yeah, he sold himself his own brand, man.
Yeah, and
Everybody's gonna know him for years to come.
yeah,
And I don't even know if he's done anything in a while, but he sticks. He's a place in my brain so deep
lives
from
rent
like high
free.
school dances. I'm like, I will never. I'll be 80 years old, and I'll be like, grandson, come here. Let me tell you about Soldier Boy. Tell
Oh my god, Soldier Boy up in
him.
Oh my goodness.
Things like that. I don't know why. I'll never be able to forget those times.
Speaking of artists, just being big time, something I made a comparison of is Bruno Mars. I said Bruno Mars is the Michael Jackson of our time. Do you agree?
Um, that's a tough one, man. Um, Now, full disclosure, I don't listen to much Bruno Mars, but the dude does perform, and he puts
Do
on
the Super
a
Bowl.
solid he puts on a solid show.
Yeah.
Creed also did the Super Bowl, so
Oh.
Are granted, I love Creed, but they actually had a sick Super Bowl show actually. Uh, but yeah, I mean, he puts on a good show. I think he's definitely in the ballpark. You know, I don't know many other people who are doing that. Like Mike, if you will.
Yeah.
But
If like, I think a big thing is so we like our generation we have so much like it's like everything's fast paced. Like somebody can come in, be famous, and then they're gone. And then somebody can come in, be famous, they're gone. Like everything's just constantly moving. But like back in Michael Jackson's time, you were famous for forever and then you left. They
yeah,
only had
cool.
so many people.
There was it's the internet age, dude. So you know, a lot of people you can get your music out to a wide variety of people. Whether you spend a bunch of money and did it in a studio, or if you did it in your buddy's basement, like you can just send that out and people can share it. And next thing you know, it's a it's a hit around the nation. So that's just the internet age. Like instead of people like word of mouth, like, yo, you should check this guy out. He was doing stuff at this club, and which are by that time he had some. They had, I say he, they had some notoriety because obviously they're playing in the club. So agents, talent guys coming through, seeing them, and they just work their way up. Vice, just I'm the dude. I'm putting it out, and then people are picking it up.
Yeah. I, I just I love analyzing, me being in the music business. Like I just like analyzing how people treat entertainers because you want to learn from history. And history it makes it hard because everything's different. Like, as I said, back in the day, everybody probably knew, certain entertainers and that was it. Like it was those people. If you weren't entertained by those people, you just weren't entertained. But now,
Yeah,
I mean, you can watch TV, you can watch YouTube, you can watch whatever you want.
stimulus overload. You can
Exactly.
do anything. You can spread it out on different devices. Watch a movie. Scroll through Facebook, TikToks. It's information overload.
Yeah. Are you pro information overload? Do you think that's a good thing?
No, I uh because I'm a procrastinator,
Mm,
and that just opens the door for bad seeds of procrastination. And I'll be the first one to say it. I'm awful at it.
mm.
And then, but like also back in the day, like we didn't have network games like in 64. We had people come over to System Link to play video games. And
System.
you had if you were bored, you just did something other than what I did earlier, sit on the couch and just scroll for a little bit.
Mm.
So it's like a good and the bad. Like the information's there, you have it at your fingertips for whatever you want. Like stumble upon, for instance, like we
Oh
check
snap!
that out, check that out in college. Like
Dang, I got to get.
if I was if I was bored, I would just click through that and read articles. But now I think I preferred like if I didn't have it, I would be perfectly fine just hanging out and enjoying like life out there.
Mm.
There's a lot of people who just, sit inside and don't do anything because addicted to social media, just seeing what's new, what's out there, FOMO, what have you.
Do you and Kimber get out much? Like even pre baby and post baby?
Um, we do, yeah. COVID's been weird, but we do. So we moved into a new neighborhood, and obviously we had Jack's Beach and stuff like that, so we'd go there when I was working closer to the beach. But when we moved, we lived like 8 minutes from the beach, so we went like a handful of times. We didn't go all the time.
Mm.
But when we moved here to St. Augustine, our neighborhood is huge. So we have a huge pool with a slide, lazy river, like a ton of amenities. They do all kinds of stuff, like food trucks and stuff. They do a lot of community events. So we get out and try to do some of that stuff. Um, Honestly, I'm a big homebody. I prefer to stay in a lot of the times.
Mm.
I'm just getting older, dude. You know what I'm saying? Try to go to bed at 10 at least, or at the latest.
I feel you.
But
What is your schedule?
uh, depends, dude.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing I could explain it as is like a swing shift.
Mm.
So we obviously have like 12 hours between events, like the night before, the day before, to where it could be scheduled. But sometimes like if you have a 6 a.m. brief, it takes me 35 minutes to get to work. I have to get there a couple hours early to like get the weather, write up the kneeboard cards with all the power calculations for the aircraft and stuff, make sure the brief's good to go. All depends on if it's a grade sheet or whatnot. I just do a little quick study before I sit down and brief it out. And then so I'll probably try to if the brief's it's like super early at 6 a.m., I'll try to get there at like 5:30 in the morning. So, and I'm really lazy, so I like to wake up and like sit on the couch, drink my coffee, like enjoy it. So I'm not like rushed out the door. So I'll straight up wake up at like 3:30 in the morning to go to
Good
work at 6.
God.
Yeah. And during my advanced flight training, like I just couldn't, I had like stress insomnia. I just wouldn't sleep. I would sleep like 2 days or 2 nights. I would sleep like maybe 8 hours in those 2 days.
Dang, dude.
But just like it's like it might have been one of those sleeps where it was like I feel like I'm awake, but I was definitely asleep. Like it
Mm.
felt like a really really light sleep, tossing and turning and stuff. But yeah, I mean now I definitely I'll get in bed like super early if I have to wake up that early, so it doesn't like really affect me. But then on the other hand, like there's sometimes it might be the next week I'm on like the later night flights, or like later on in that week Monday I could do a flight at 6 a.m., have a break, and then like I also have a ground job to do. So get some work done with that. And then later on down the week, I'll probably be on a night flight
Mm.
that gets in at like 11:30 or midnight or 1 o'clock. And you have to shut the aircraft down, pull all your stuff in, debrief, and then I have a 40-minute drive home. So, and then if you have watch the next day, it's always tough, or the day before, because you have to get in there super early.
Dude, that sounds.
So the schedule is like real weird. If I have a late night flight, I'll get in kind of like midday, something like that, so I can like help out with ground job stuff. But back in the old days of not having a ground job, it was real nice. You just show up an hour or two before your brief time, no matter what it was, and then after that, hey, I'm done. Now it's like if I have a morning flight, I have to get out of the aircraft and sit behind the computer, make sure all the paperwork's done that I need done, and it's a different dynamic than I've been used to for the past 2 years.
Would you say you're still like training?
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm actually in the fleet, I started out as a pilot qualified model BQM. Now I'm a H2P, which is a helicopter second pilot, and then we're trying to like our whole goal is to make helicopter aircraft commander. So it's just like a stack of pubs that you need to know like a ton of information out of. And you have a board for it, so you get like asked a ton of questions, bunch of scenarios, so it can be like, yep, okay, cool, you can sign for this aircraft and take somebody else to go fly, or like you're on the boat and you can go do a mission, and I feel comfortable with you doing that and coming back safely. So like for me, it's all like training continuously. There's also like different qualifications for tactics and stuff, but even that, like whenever you get done with aircraft commander, there's also like more quals you can get. And then even as you're in your department head tour, there's still qualifications that they need to be getting. So it really, to answer your question, yes. But as for like every flight is a grade sheet, is that's not the case anymore, which is kind of nice. You can just enjoy the flight and get some flight hours and just like have a low stress flight. But everyone's progressing to get the next qual. So
Do you feel like you're always like having to study or something like that?
it always feels that way. It's like I think in my head right now, it's like, oh, I should be studying. But um, yeah, you're always like, there's always something comes up. So we just got done with our little our squadron had like a kind of tactical evaluation. So I was like studying for that for the past couple of weeks. So it's always something going on. And then outside of that, like I do need to be still holding on to the grand picture of everything that I need to be like holding on to for aircraft commander. So yeah, it's from what the people ahead of me say, it's awful sitting down and trying to learn all that stuff and retain it.
You've been in since
Yeah,
2017?
yeah.
Dang. So what was your contract? Was it 6?
It doesn't start until we're wings, but it takes about a year and a half, 2 years to get your wings, depending on what platform you go to. Um, so yeah, I got my wings in August 2019, and that's technically when my contract starts. We had 8, but technically 10. So I have like 7 more years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
I mean, it's nice now. I mean, it's busy. It's for sure busy, but I enjoy it. Yeah, I
Do,
like it a lot.
do you think that it's going at the pace you expected, or does it feel like it's slower, faster?
I mean, as you go through like training, they're always like, obviously you start out with like in fixed wing world, where you start out, you might get a helicopter guy as an instructor, and they'll kind of tell you like, oh, this is the type of things you need to be thinking about for like if you fly helicopters, like those boards type things, like questions you get asked. And then as you get in the helicopters, they start like delving into more like, this is what my community like, this is what we focus on. It generally it's all the same stuff, but everybody's got different like techniques on how to think about it. But I've known for a while that it was going to be pretty fast paced. Um, but coming from like a bunch of training squadrons, like the fastest ones I could get put in, I was put in. So I was flying every day, every day, every day. I was like, oh my God, like this is a lot, because every flight is a whole like different system you have to brief, or different books you have to dig into that you've never looked at. You're like, okay, I have to speak about this intelligently. And then now it's like we expect higher level of knowledge from you, and we like, as a pilot, we expect more from you too. Um, but it's a little bit more spaced out. So like the standard number right now, like you have the back date is 24 months while you're in the squadron. That's when you should make hack is what uh like you don't want to go past that. So everybody shoots for a little earlier than that, early as you can. Like, great, good on you. Um, and a lot of guys will just do that. They'll start studying way early and try to grasp the knowledge way early so they can just be done with it. But it's a fast and slow at the same time. We're like super busy right now, so it's, to me it seems like uh, still super fast. But in the grand scheme of things, like, it's a nice pace now. Just because everybody's got, like, an actual job aside from flying.
Have you seen any like world events affect you, like affect your group or whatever?
Um, like what? What do you mean?
Um, so there were times like when was that? I think it was like around the time that North Korea was getting all sketchy with America, and our our squadron, like, they started, rumors and whispers were going around, and like our flight chief called us into the office one time. We're like, hey, uh, be prepared. We might start, doing some stuff. And we were like, oh, snap.
Um, not really. So we're kind of having a weird maintenance phase, so we don't plan to deploy until it's probably going to change, but it was originally like 2023. So the closest thing that we did, we had a group of guys that I pretty much just met that have been in the squadron, um, for a whole year and greater, because they were on a debt for like 8 months on the Winston Churchill. They went to the Middle East to do stuff. Um, and then we farm out people to different squadrons. We got a guy going to Japan. One guy's going to San Diego to fly with another squadron. Um, we got other guys going to a squadron just down the street to go on their deployment. So right now we're like building up to be on deployment, but there's been no like rumor mill of like, oh, this is popping off, get ready to go, just because like we can't,
Mm.
pretty much. But we do still prepare for things like as if we were like tensions were to arise with a certain country. Yeah, we still get like intel updates and stuff like that.
Oh, but nothing like I don't know. I guess any kind of procedures. Well, you said y'all prepare as if something.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're normally doing that. Like, we're in the Sims a good bit, train for that type stuff, and then in different areas of operations. But no real sniffs of any conflict, and then they come back and it's like, hey, be ready to go. Um, yeah. Now, if I was in a different squadron, it might be different because HSM 74 just got double pumped, and with deployments like back to back.
mm,
So, but there's the rumor mills are pretty much what it is. It's just we pretty much know, like, unless things start moving that direction, I'm not gonna like be too worried about it.
mm,
But yeah, it's pretty much just like business as usual with us, I guess.
um,
I guess y'all were different because I mean y'all had B-52s.
yeah. They're so when we let's see, 2017. I think it was like 2017. Um, the was it the B shoot B1? the B1 was in Qatar, and then they said that they were basically like running those into the ground, and they were like, let's swap them out. So that's when they finally put the B-52 over there, and they were like, oh, the B-52 is killing it. Like we're doing a great job with that. But the decision was to rotate them. So they wanted to rotate the B1 and the B-52 in Qatar. So that was that was a little bit before I got out was when they started deciding to rotate those. I almost went over because I think somebody got hurt or something. I don't remember. But I almost got deployed there like last minute's notice. Oh, it was right around the time of your wedding. Um, I had my leave in, and I was supposed to go. And there's another guy, Rave Sloot. He had his leave in, and because it was like his brother was getting married, and I was like, dear God. I was like, both of us. I was like, it's not like we can, lobby each other like,
Yeah.
man, my best friend, like, and he's like, my brother. Yeah. So they ended up sending like somebody else. Like I
Yeah.
thought I was undeployable because of I was getting out because of my back,
Yeah.
and, but they were like, no, you can go, and I was like, what? So
That sounds about right.
yeah, so yeah, but they sent somebody completely different. I was like, thank God. I would have hated if I missed her wedding. I would have been pretty upset about
Yeah, me too.
that.
That
That was a good wedding, by the way.
was fun, dude. That was a good time.
Yeah.
From what I remember of it, it was pretty nice. And that not alcohol induced. Like everything was just like it's like, hey, hello, 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 hello. It's like being pulled in five different directions every second. Um, but what I do like take away from it it was a good time.
Yeah.
I think we had the N64 in
Oh
the
yeah.
back room playing some Mario Kart too.
I forgot about that. Dang.
Yeah, dude.
Um, shoot. I don't regret like me and Rachel never doing a wedding, but it's interesting seeing I guess just like different people like going through that phase of planning a wedding and the honeymoon and I mean stuff that me and Rachel really never did. We sort of kind of did a honeymoon. We just did a ton of traveling, and
Yeah,
we still do. But yeah, it's we've definitely lived a very untraditional lifestyle with with what we've been doing.
yeah. I mean, that was technically like the celebration for our wedding because we had done what I feel like most of our generation and after us is moving towards, and it's just like getting a quick wedding and then be like, hey, that was real cheap and easy and quick, and we got married in her old pastor's living room.
Mm.
Because at the time Alabama wasn't doing courthouse weddings, so you had to like actually do it and then have
Really?
him sign as a witness. Yeah, so we did
Wow.
that, and then that was the celebration of the wedding. And her mom mostly wanted that so she could you know really get into the she's a planner, so she really enjoyed the whole planning portion of it. um it
Why
was
wasn't
stressful
Alabama
though.
doing the weddings, the courthouse weddings?
I don't know. I don't want to get political or anything, but around that time, um, there was, which I mean, still now, people were getting rejected for, um, people were getting turned away. Certain groups of people were getting turned away uh,
Hmm.
to be married in all over the nation. So Alabama was just like, hey, we're not going to be that guy. You or you's not getting married in my courthouse. So we're just gonna cut it off for a while.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, they did that. We are like, whoa, that's crazy. That sucks. So yeah, that's how we had to do it. Um,
Wow. That sounds really
and that's
inconvenient.
and that's what a lot of people do in the military now too. Is like they get married first, and then like years down the road they'll have their wedding. Um, I've seen that a couple times. Um, but I think it's smarter to like take that money that you would have spent and go traveling, do something, make memories and stuff like that. Our thoughts on it were like we're gonna be in the military. I'm gonna be in here for a few years. We're gonna see different places. Little did we know my entire career was gonna be in Florida up to now. But yeah, we anticipated seeing like all different types of possible different countries, different states, different uh coasts. So we were like, yeah, we'll see all that stuff eventually. Also, I didn't know if I was going to have time or not to go because I still had to go to like API after that, pre-flight indoctrination. So I was like, we just need to do it at home if we're going to do it. I don't have much time in between. Anyway, I didn't take my honeymoon until like a year later.
Mm. That was the first time you
So
took leave?
yeah, I mean, out like outside of like seeing my family for Christmas and stuff,
Yeah.
that was the first time we went out of the country to do something or
Mhm.
outside of the local area
Yeah.
really to do something. So
Yeah. Speaking of going out of the country and vacations and whatnot, what do you think about this cruise? Us going on a cruise.
dude, I'm all down for it. People can say what they want about cruises. I've had nothing but good times on cruises.
You're gonna have to convince me because I've never been a huge cruise person.
Oh, dude.
I've never been on one, but just the thought of it, it's
So like the thing about it is to not think of it in a tourist mindset.
okay.
Like you're gonna obviously do some touristy things,
Hmm.
like do the souvenir shops. It's all junk, but you go in there, you have a good time, you can drink. There's usually a comedian there on the ship. The food's great, and you can have as much of it as you want.
Is it really
Um,
good?
it's really good.
Hmm.
It's really good. So I always remember like on the last one I went with me and my dad and Halston. Um, he was like, "All right, the captain's dinner's tonight. All right, so you know what that means? Steak and lobster tails, as much as you can eat." So I'm just gonna preface this and exclaim, "As much as you can eat." So don't feel bad. It's like because I myself am gonna have at least 2 to 3 lobster tails on my plate. I'm just gonna keep asking until I'm full. It's like honestly, it's like uh, a Texas Day Brazil. You
Hmm.
just be like, yeah, I want some more. Bring some more. Or like, no, I'm good. I'm done. So the food to me was really good. Breakfast is like kind of a continental breakfast on steroids. You wake up, you do the buffet thing. Usually you wake up in the middle of the night and be like, man, I'm really hungry. They'll usually have pizza for you still. They'll be making pizza all throughout the night. At least the ones I went on was both Carnival cruises. Um, and then when I got older, you could get your drink tab. So I mean, we thought we were doing something, me and Halston, because we had $25 for a drink tab. We basically got like 2 Jack and Coke, make it a double, and that was our entire tab blown right there. I was like, man, this kind of sucks. But you go on the island, like we went to the Bahamas, so you go on the island and it was a great time. Like we bought some like Cuban cigars for $5 right outside, and then like we went to Senor Frogs touristy right off the bat, and then the next morning we had until like 5 a.m. to do it. It was like the ship basically said, I don't care what you do, but we're leaving at 5. So be back.
That's early.
So yeah, we had or like be back on 5. We're leaving at 6:37. So they basically like the island is yours. You can do whatever you want with it, which also dangerous. Like I can see some bad things happening, but I mean, we had a great time. We got lost. Kept forgetting that we got some mopeds. So my dad and the lady he was with, they had they went shopping and stuff, did their thing. Me and Halston, first thing we did, got mopeds, rode it around the island. Kept forgetting which side of the road we were supposed to be riding on. And I know they see it like every day because they were just like pointing at us like I was like, oh man, this is really bugging me. But
Yeah.
it was like we hung out on the beach, we swam, we drove around, did some sightseeing, got some drinks that night, walked around. I remember like this is the one crisp memory I'll have. And I was like, dude, I love the the Bahamas. Is We were so thirsty, I was so dehydrated. My flip flops were about to blow out. We were just walking, super dark. Um, I was like, oh man, I could kill for a water right now. And we see this coconut, which is just like is falling down on the ground. And the tree was right there. I just look at Halston in this haze state that we were in at the time. I was like, do I bust this thing open right now and drink from it? And I remember him saying, like, that's what it's there for, dude. Let's do it. And so we just is right next to a like concrete bench real close by. So we went over there and just bashed a big crack in it and started drinking from it. It was like the nectar of life, dude. I was
Really?
like, I drank from it. I was like, I love this place.
Oh my goodness.
I would live here if I could. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have done it. Well, I mean,
Oh,
like,
dude,
okay, so if I'd cracked it open and saw it, I'd probably be like, all right, yeah, I'll drink it. Like,
dude,
if,
is
if it looked fine.
as thirsty as this is like 1 a.m. Nothing was open to get drinks. So it's like you do that, or you still have to do the mile hike back to the ship
Mm.
in in your flip flops, walking on either sand or concrete. So I was like, dude, I'll risk it for the biscuit,
Mhm.
and I'll drink what this thing's giving me. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I love this. I'll come back. Anytime I do a cruise, I would come back to the Bahamas 100% of the time. But I know Kimber wanted to see Cuba when it was open for a while, and then there's some. I've been to Mexico and stuff on cruises, but Bahamas was nice. You just gotta experience it.
So,
It was a real cool experience.
so if we go, where do you want to go?
So it all depends on what you want to do. Like you can hit the little triangle of the islands. So they go like um, Cozumel, Nassau, and then what is it? I forget. Um, anyway, uh, you can hit like 3 different islands um, in a 5 day cruise. We had like I think we had a 3 day cruise. So we poured out of Miami. So we came basically, we were there the next day, stayed there for like 2 days and then came back.
Mm.
Um, but um, there's really not, in my mind, there's really not a bad place to go. I don't remember Cozumel as much as I do the Bahamas, but I don't know. I enjoy the islands of the Bahamas for sure, but yeah, it all depends. I think it's pretty much nice anytime you go. I think we went. No, we went in the summer for the last one I went on. Then we went um, during Christmas time to Cozumel, and it was still like 80 degrees.
Mm.
Um,
I
but
probably want to go around this time, or like, yeah, maybe this time September, something like that.
yeah, I think spring, early fall would be a solid time to go. Um, honestly, whenever the least amount of people are going, it'll be cheaper. That's how
Mm.
you got to think about it. But but yeah, I mean, I'll go wherever if I can.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to plan that for real.
Yeah, yeah. No, Kimber's itching to do something for sure. We were
Uh,
talking about like the next place we're going outside the country would be Ireland. Who knows when that will be? But I feel like a cruise is more. And she said that a while back. She's like, I wish we could get like we were talking about. It was like if we get Jackson and Rachel and some other friends on a cruise, that would be a great time. I was like, it's probably easier to plan than you think. They'd probably be all for it.
yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a good time. Yeah, we'd have to plan it for. We'll have to figure it out because it's all about timeline.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Are you going to any games, like Bama games?
Dude, I wish, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's a hike for you.
yeah, it's a pretty far stroke, and then like
I guess Georgia, like the SEC championship game. I guess that'd be the closest game for you.
yeah, I mean the Florida, the UF and Georgia game is always in Jacksonville,
Uh,
so we go to that and tailgate and stuff. But the way it is for my timeline, I'll probably have to just stay home and study um, until I'm aircraft commander, and then even after that, we'll probably have some stuff pop up. Uh, but I would love to go to games. It'll probably be my next short tour.
yeah, I think I plan on. So I've only been to one game, and I took Rachel with me, and it was like UL Monroe, and needless to say, we death stroked them. But
Yeah, you talking about tickets?
yeah, yeah, we well,
Because I
just
know me and you tailgated one year.
yeah, yeah, like me and Rachel sat like where was it? It was well, it's kind of hard to say. So if you're walking into like the stadium, it's going to be on like the right side, and those seats were kind of low, and I think we paid like $100 a piece.
Yeah, yeah,
They were pretty solid seats too, and like if I like paid top dollar for those seats in like a big game, that'd have been good seats. But yeah, I mean, I think Bama won that game like I don't know 40 or 50 something to maybe six, but
yeah. I would love to catch a game. I think the odds of that happening soon are very very low.
hmm,
But uh, yeah, we tend to tailgate the Florida Georgia game, and then I've always said like since I've been here, I'm like, yeah, I want to get some uh Jaguars tickets. But yet to be able to do that. So
yeah, I thought I'd be going to like Memphis. I haven't been to a Memphis football game yet.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done or a Grizzlies game. Like I haven't done any. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of NBA or just going to like a Memphis game. I'd rather just sit at home and watch a ton of games. So
Yeah,
um,
we've been to one uh amateur baseball game.
hmm.
That was recent, but other than that, I haven't. No, we went to Monster Truck. We went to
Oh,
Monster Jam.
nice.
That was fun. That was a good
Oh,
time. Uh, but yeah, those are the only two really events that we've got tickets to since we've been here.
all right.
I do know that Formula One is coming to Miami soon. And we're trying to go to that.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bunch of dudes from the squadron. Like, hey, let's take some time off. Let's take some leave. Let's go.
For how far is that from you?
It's I haven't even looked, but it's a like 5 hour, possibly 6 hour. That's
Mm,
on the other side. Like we're North Florida, so the very bottom.
mm.
Um, but yeah, we'll it would have to be like right place, right time for us. I don't know. I got a buddy who goes to Daytona all the time. He lives in a camper and straight up takes his house to the infield
Dang.
and just rips it up.
Nice.
Yeah,
The way to live.
yeah, mobile lifestyle.
Well, it's been about an hour, man. That's about the time. You got anything for the people?
I mean, just stay in school. You know,
I always
listen
have
to your
all these people
parents.
who have like stuff to advertise, but you don't have anything to advertise. I don't know. So
Nah, man. Do the right things. You never know what you're gonna try to get into later in life. You know, I don't
wise
know.
words, wise words.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's, I don't got much, man. I mean, you know me.
Cool. Well, this has been a great podcast as always with John Hill. Can't wait to see you, man. For real.
Yeah, man.
Look him up.
Yeah, been looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next time.